Hello and welcome to Apical Studies. My name is Anu Verma. As we have already released 4 videos on train problems, in this video we will also solve some train related problems using the easiest method. So here is a question with the smart approach solution. If we talk about a smart approach solution, a smart approach should be one that makes a question look like a piece of cake, and here we are going to do that. There is no need to learn any extra sorted formula, as it is never easy to keep a trick formula in mind for a long time, and we can also get confused about where to use that formula and where to not. So we are going to master this technique, which do not require any extra effort, and it is time saving also. So looking at the question, it says that a train leaves Patna at 5 am and reaches Varanasi at 9 am. Another train leaves Varanasi at 6:30 am and reaches Patna at 10 am. At what time does the two trains meet? Okay, and the options are 7:40 am, 7:40 pm, 8:30 am and 8:30 pm. Now we will talk about the approach and the concept. And the concept is when two trains run in opposite direction, or we can say that if they move towards each other, they cover the distance between them together and their speeds get added to obtain the relative speed. Almost every train problem depends upon the time, distance and speed formula. So here we will look about the time, speed and distance. So in the question only time is given, neither the speed is given nor the distance. So let us assume the distance first, and we will assume a distance which will make the question easy to solve, and we can assume the distance is 56. Why are we taking the distance 56? We'll talk about it after the question. Okay, first we will see the question. We are taking the distance 56. So to obtain the speeds of the both trains, we will divide the distance by the time taken by both the trains. So look, first train is taking 4 hours and second train is taking 3.5 hours to cover the distance. So if we divide 56 by 4, we will get 14, and if we divide 56 by 3.5, we will get 16. So the speeds are 14 km per hour and 16 km per hour. So the relative speed will be 14 plus 16 is equals to 30 km per hour. As the question says, first train would have run for 1.5 hours before the second train starts proceeding. As the first train runs at 5 am and the second train runs at 6.5 am, and the difference between these times is 1.5 hours. And it means first train would have covered 21 km of the distance, as it covers 14 km in 1 hour, so it will cover 7 km in half an hour, so it will cover 21 km in 1.5 an hour. So the first train would have covered 21 km of the distance before the second train starts proceeding. So now when the second train starts proceeding, the distance that will be remained to cover by both the trains would be 35 km. That will be covered by both of the trains. Now the relative speed is 30 and the remaining distance is 35, and to obtain the time we will divide the distance by the speed. That will be 35 divided by 30, and to obtain the time in minutes we will multiply it by 60. So the result will be 70 minutes. So after the start of the second train, it will take 70 minutes. So after the starting of the second train, both trains will take 70 minutes to meet each other. So the second train was starting at 6:30 am. We will add 70 minutes to it and we will get 7:40 am. So 7:40 will be the time when both trains will meet, and that will be our answer. That is option A. Now we will talk about why we assumed the number 56. So look, we should assume a number that can make the question easy to solve. we could have taken the LCM of the both times, that is 4 and 3.5. The LCM would be 28, and when we would have divided 28 by 4 and 3.5, we would have got some weird numbers that would not be easy to solve in the question. So we just multiplied 28 by 2 and got 56, and dividing 56 by 4 and 3, we got very easy numbers that are 14 and 16, and it becomes easy to solve the questions. So I hope you understood it. So once you understand this kind of approach to solve a question, you will find every question really easy. So now let's move on to the second question. And the second question says, a goods train and a passenger train are running on parallel tracks in the same direction. The driver of the goods train observes that the passenger train coming from behind overtakes and crossed his train completely in 60 seconds, whereas a passenger on the passenger train marks that he crossed the goods train in 40 seconds. So, if the speed of the trains be in the ratio of 1:2, find the ratio of their length. So, according to the question, the speed is in the ratio of 1:2. If we assume the speed of both trains is 1 and 2, so the relative speed will be, because they are going in the same direction, the speeds would have been subtracted. Okay, when we subtract the speeds, we will get 1. So the relative speed will be 1 in both the conditions, and the conditions which are given in the question are as when passenger train crosses goods train completely, it would have covered the length of both trains, and when a passenger on passenger train crossed the goods train, it would have covered distance of goods train only. Okay, so if it takes 40 seconds to cross goods train, it will take 20 seconds to cross the passenger train, because in the first condition, when it was taking 60 seconds, the length of the both trains was included, and in the second condition, the 40 seconds were needed to cross the goods train only. If 40 seconds were needed to cross goods train only, the remaining 20 seconds would have been taken for the passenger train. So we can say the time required to cross the goods train is 40 seconds and time required to cross the passenger train is 20 seconds. Okay, so we can see the both times are in the ratio of 2:1. Okay, so if the time required to cross the goods train only is double than the time required to cross the passenger train, the length of the goods train must also be double, as both are proportional in nature. So the ratio of the lengths would also be 2:1. Okay, so we find our answer very easily, that is 2:1, and the option is B. You can find solutions like these in our videos, and for this you must subscribe to our channel, that is Apical Studies, and please press the bell icon so you can get notified whenever we upload a video. You can also follow us on Facebook, the link is given in the description. So that is it. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.